Hey, Jonathan here from Elixir Therapy. What's up with all these breathing techniques? That's what I used to wonder about when I was first getting into meditation and martial arts and spirituality. You come across all these different breathing techniques. And after learning about them, I started seeing that there's a lot of similarities in how they work and how they train. But that I thought that a couple of the outcomes and how to progress the breathing method itself and what it's supposed to lead to was not clear or was purposely kept secret as some type of high level teaching that you're not allowed to get to unless you're an indoor disciple or something like that. And so I want to explore and break down the stages and outcomes that you should expect from a breathing method that you really go into. And surprisingly, what I think is what I'm calling a secret outcome to a lot of these breathing methods, and spoiler alert, it's to stop breathing in the typical way. It's to come up with a completely new style of breathing, whether it feels like you're extending it for a long time, you're stopping breathing, you're entering some other mystical state where how you're breathing isn't even on your mind. That for me and what I found is that the way it was taught or shown to me is that this is supposed to lead to calmness. And yes, you can take your breathing and slow it down, calm it down, apply your mind to how you're breathing and the muscles. And as you regulate the breathing, your mind will also begin to become more regulated or slow down. But then what? What's supposed to happen then? Is that the ultimate level? No. And if you look at any of the Taoist or Buddhist or spiritual texts on this, what they're saying is that this is a step towards, maybe even the main step towards becoming enlightened, becoming awakened, having non ordinary states of reality arise on their own. Now, first step, whether it's a physical type breathing similar to a Wim Hof or muscular, you're connecting different muscles and moving differently in your body, or it's a vagal type breathing method where you're linking the breathing to emotional states, or you're counting how long your inhale, your hold, your exhale, your holds are and extending that over time, or you're linking a visualization inside your body of certain chakras or areas or points or meridians. Whether you're applying any of those, all of those are going to be excellent. They're going to lead towards extending the breathing, lower blood pressure. And a lot of those systems, they link it to longevity, because if you look at animals like the bowhead whale or the Greenland shark or certain turtles or the tortoise or crocodiles, the animals that are able to extend their breathing or hold their breath for a long time have massive lifespans. And within yoga, they talk about measuring your lifespan in number of breaths, that essentially we have a certain number of breaths our body are going to be able to do before it runs out of steam. And if you can regulate that and extend the breathing, have the breathing last for longer, then it may, in fact, affect your longevity in a really serious way. However, in my opinion, that's just step one. That's just the first step that I think is the really common, what you're going to find all online or in most techniques or in most books. That's what they're going to talk about. But what I found is that if you keep going, if you develop that, you can get to that level pretty quickly. You can learn how to extend your breathing through a variety of methods and then have it have a really positive impact on you. But then what? How do you take it further? How do you take it further? So with all of the methods that I've just mentioned and that I will show individually, all of them have a goal at the end or after you've reached a certain level that you're breathing in a completely different way. Whether it's really short inhale exhales, whether it's really long inhales and exhales, whether it's like similar to Wim Hof or packing breathing for holding your breath for a long time, that you get rid of a lot of the carbon dioxide and get tons of oxygen in there. And then you really don't have the desire to breathe for minutes at a time. No problem at just the beginner level. So that is the first kind of phase. Now, the second phase, in my opinion, is then if the breathing method is working for you, it means you're going to have a different experience of reality. It's going to be an entrance to, it's going to allow the arising of completely new perceptions and realities. If that is not happening for you, it's not the right breathing technique. It's just staying within that first realm. And so there's something that I consider kind of secret in that a way that you can develop these techniques further is by not getting stuck on the first step of just working with your breathing. It's to do that so that you can let go of the technique and experience a completely new way of breathing. It's making me think right now of the Matrix scene where after they fight and then Keanu Reeves is and then Morpheus says, "Are you sure that's air you're breathing?" And then he immediately kind of goes, "Oh," and realizes he doesn't need to be huffing and puffing. That we need to have a completely new perception, technique, understanding of how we're breathing so that we stop breathing in the typical way. Because the way that we're breathing now is how our parents breathed. It's how it was modeled for us. It's how most people breathe. And it's not at a really maximal rate. You can see that in athletes and meditators, stuff like that, that their rate of breathing, their blood pressure, etc., is way completely different. So if we want to go towards the first level of health and longevity these breathing practices are claiming to give, then that's what we need to go after. Now, if we're going to go into this second part, what we're looking for is that discursive thinking stops. When the discursive thinking stops, our perception of the universe is completely different. So if you're trying one of these methods and you work with it, and you get to the point in the exercise where you let go of the technique of what you've been doing, if you are not now perceiving in a new way, try something different. You're not getting to the secondary, what I'm calling the secret step that the breathing techniques are supposed to lead to, not breathing in a typical way, which is supposed to lead to experiencing a completely new type of reality. Actually, not hyperbole here. Actual, for real. And if that's not happening, something's up. Something's up there. Try something different. Go back in again. Try maybe extending longer, whatever method that you're using. But if you're not getting that secondary part, then you're not getting the full benefit. You're not getting the secret benefit that we're trying to get going. So I hope that gives a little bit more of an introduction around what are the two outcomes we're looking for from doing these breathing techniques, and something to look for in terms of how to keep improving your practice over time and what you're looking to try and get to with these breathing practices. All right, good luck. Check out some of the breathing techniques, see if any of them work for you, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.